Chapter 12. Double Dutch practice on Monday was hot and horrible. Delia tripped over the ropes like they were made of tree branches. She couldn't get past 50 on her speed jumps, when her average was usually closer to 350. Randy yelled at her from across the floor. "Get it together, Delia! You jumping like a kindergartner! A clumsy one at that!" "You're not the coach!" Delia yelled back at him. "Don't mess with me! At least I'm not sweating like a pig!" Randy grabbed a towel and wiped his face. It had been unusually hot all day. More like July than April. Randy was hot and hungry and angry. "Well, you're jumping like a pig. We ain't gonna win nothing if you jump like that at the finals next week." "I don't believe you're dissing me like that," she retorted angrily. "If you don't like it, you can just—" "That's enough," yelled Bomani from the other side of the gym. He was physically restraining two screaming, sweating 10-year-olds who were angry enough to fight. One swore she had been tripped. The other claimed she couldn't turn for somebody who was stupid and ugly. "Teammates do not fight each other," he told the girls sternly. "Go sit on the sidelines and make up, or I'm calling your parents to take you home. It is too hot to be dealing with this kind of foolishness tonight." Both of them scowled, but they quieted down and obeyed. "And Delia," Bomani yelled. "Randy's right. Go get some water, rest a little, then try again. You're off your game tonight." Delia stormed off the floor, hot with anger. As she dug in her bag for her water bottle, "How dare he talk to me like that?" she muttered to Yolanda. "Where's he getting off thinking he can talk to me like he's my mama or something? He better fix his face to be looking someplace else." "It's the heat, Delia," Yolanda said, trying to calm her down. "You know Randy isn't usually like this. He's crazy about you. You know that." "Well, he sure has a crazy way of showing it." Delia was still angry. She refused to look at Randy, who sat near the table of refreshments that some parents had brought. "You jump for a while, Yo-Yo. Get Charlene and Misty to turn for you. I'm not doing anybody any good." "It's too hot for anything," Yolanda complained as she went to find her own water bottle. "When my body gets overheated, I sometimes go into cardiac arrest. I must be careful." "You're going to get arrested for telling tales," Delia said, chuckling. "Get out there and jump. Let me see your fastest speed routine." Yolanda walked over to the ropes, gave the signal to Misty and Charlene, and proceeded to jump fast and furious. She smirked when she stopped and said to Delia, "Piece of cake." The only signs that she was aware of the heat were small drops of perspiration on the bridge of her nose. Delia stood and cheered loudly. Yolanda, who clearly had been awesome, took a bow and walked off the gym floor. Bomani nodded in approval from the other side of the gym. Randy set the timer for the younger girls, then moved slowly across the floor to the folding chair where Delia sat. She had her feet propped up on another chair and a wet paper towel on her forehead. Her eyes were closed. "Hey, Delia. My bad," Randy said softly. Sorry. You're the last person who I want to be mad at me. I'm just. He could not finish the sentence. Delia did not move or open her eyes at first. Finally, she peeked from behind the quickly drying paper towel and asked, "What's wrong with you?" Randy sighed. "Can I call you tonight? I've got something to tell you." "What is it?" Delia asked, sitting up straight and looking at him intently. She could feel her anger melt. "I promise I'll tell you tonight. I can't talk about it here." "And Delia," he added nervously. "What?" she asked quietly. "Don't mention this to Yolanda or Charlene, please." Randy looked miserable. Delia continued to look at him carefully. "Okay. No sweat," she smiled then. "Actually, that's the problem. Too much sweat tonight. But don't worry, I got your back." Randy looked relieved as the buzzer for the timer sounded. He bounded back to the scoring table. Yolanda, Misty, and Charlene headed directly for Delia when they finished their jumps. "What's up, girl? What did he say?" "I thought you were supposed to be jumping, not dipping into somebody else's business," Delia laughed. "It's easy to do both," Yo-Yo said between gulps as she swallowed half a bottle of water. "I do it all the time." "That's your problem," Misty said. "If you concentrate on what we're supposed to be doing out there instead of trying to run Delia's love life, we'd have the championship tied up." "Speak for yourself, girlfriend," Yo-Yo replied. "I have no interest in Delia's love life. I have a dynamite love life of my own, thank you. 17 boyfriends last I counted." but it still might be interesting to hear what the large one has on his puny little mind. He was just talking about tomorrow's project presentation at school, Delia said smoothly. That wasn't a school project look he was giving you, Charlene said with envy in her voice. That was a, hey, Delia, you so fine, you blow my mind kind of look. Delia ignored them all and headed out to the floor to jump again. She noticed that the two fifth graders who had been fighting a few minutes before were giggling together, getting ready to jump again as well. Well, are you guys going to turn for me or what? She asked Misty and Charlene. They laughed and ran to pick up the ropes. Yolanda stayed on the sidelines, fixing her hair. Delia jumped in from the left and went through the mandatory routine almost without thinking. Her mind was on Randy. Looking better, Delia, Bomani shouted with encouragement. Delia never ceased to be amazed at how Bomani could see everything that was going on in 6 different areas of the gym. Pick up those feet, Chantel. Watch the ropes, Delisa. Say, Shasta, left foot, remember, left foot. Bomani let them leave a little early because the gym was so stuffy and warm. Delia was glad to see her mother waiting for her in the parking lot. The air conditioner was cold and refreshing when she slid into the seat. You need a ride, Randy? Delia asked as she rolled down the window. You better decide quick because all the hot air is trying to sneak into the car. You don't mind, Mrs. Douglas? Randy asked, leaving his large frame down so he could peek into the window. It sure beats taking the bus. Of course not, Randy. Actually, it was my idea, Delia's mother told him. Hop in. Randy climbed gratefully into the back seat, inhaling deeply the cool air. Why do you think it's so hot, Mrs. D? He asked as they headed down the street. I read in the newspaper this morning that the weather's expected to be unusually hot like this until the end of the week, she told him. My grandfather used to call this tornado weather, she added. It's that time of year around here, you know. Makes me want to skip spring and jump right into summer vacation, Delia commented. It's too hot for school. Delia usually glanced at the copy of the Cincinnati Post on the kitchen table when she got home from school, but except for the photos, the newspaper, along with the detailed weather forecast, was just a lot of gray fuzz. Hot for the next couple of days at least, I heard. Then a cold front is supposed to come through. Delia's mother turned the air conditioning fan up as high as it would go. We could use a couple of feet of snow, joked Delia. Be for real. Maybe rain, humid and sticky for sure, said Randy. You'll survive, Mrs. Douglas said calmly. Maybe not, Delia muttered under her breath. Mrs. Douglas didn't hear her, but Delia noticed that Randy did. Delia turned the radio on to her favorite station. So, is the team ready for finals? Mrs. Douglas asked, turning the music down. Oh yeah, we're going to kick butt, Randy said with feeling. Excuse me, Mrs. D. We're going to do real good. Mrs. Douglas laughed. It's wonderful that the league has chosen Cincinnati to be the location of the World Championships. Yeah, I guess it's cool for kids from Atlanta who get to come here on a plane, but for us, we don't even get to get out of town. That sucks, Delia complained. Last year we got to go to New York, and the year before that we went to Myrtle Beach. It's boring staying here at home. You still get to stay in a hotel and swim in the pool and do all the stuff you would have done out of town. Enjoy it and quit complaining, Mrs. Douglas said mildly. Being the Hotown team gives us more power, Randy said. And more pressure for the jumpers, Delia added. But you get your picture in the paper, and you get to be interviewed on TV. I heard Bomani talking to Clifton Grayson, the reporter, last week, her mother added wisely. Wow, Delia said. I think he's cute. I don't know if I'd be able to talk to him. I'd be so nervous. You probably won't have to say much. Just jump like no tomorrow, her mother told her. Here's your place, Randy. You need anything, dear? Mrs. Douglas asked. No thanks, I'm cool. Actually, I'm really hot, but you know what I mean, Randy said, laughing. Thanks for the ride. Delia watched Randy glance at the window of his apartment. They were dark. Randy glanced back at Delia, gave her a smile, and headed into the building.